God, Danny Pomplun sends a request to be live in my video. As if. Okay. Where you at? Where you at? Hi.
Good morning.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I live and breathe.
Oh my god.
DannyPomplinYoga.com. In the flesh.
The Dharma dudes, you guys, we're here. Real life. IRL.
IRL doodlage.
IRL doodlage.
All it took was a global pandemic to get us live on the gram.
Yeah, totally. Good morning, Julia.
Oh,
Julia
look.
was so excited. She was like, both of you guys are going to be on at the same time. This is amazing.
It's happening.
Yeah, it's happening.
Veronica and Eli. Hey, guys.
Good morning, everybody.
Guten Morgen. How you doing, bro?
You know, I'm here. I just did a private. It was really awesome. And I had some coffee, and now I am here with live with Rocky on Guten Morgen, Preisen Chine. I don't know how to do that.
I am learning some German currently. I could say some things, but probably not on the spot. What's that? Oh, nice. It's fine. Ich verstehe Deutsch.
Hey, Rocky, you should really try these cards. I absolutely love them.
That is so funny, Danny. I was just going to recommend this book that I don't even know where I got it. It just like popped into my lap. I was like, Danny really should check this out. I think there's a lot of things in here that you could really benefit from.
That's good.
You know what? If you're going to copy my hairdo, I can copy your animal cards.
If you're going to copy my yoga thing, then I can copy your hair too.
Yeah, Danny was like, Danny reached out to me. He's like, have you heard about this thing called yoga? Everyone's trying it. And I was like, no, I guess I'll check it out. I think, no, I'll go with Rocky.
Yeah. And here we are.
Here we are. So thank you for joining me this morning. Thanks for coming out. If you guys don't know Danny, then I don't know what you're doing. You should definitely check him out. Danny and I, Danny has an amazing podcast called Yogi Misfits, and he's gracious enough to bring me on once a month to be ridiculous with him. And we've led now retreats together and go to Burning Man together. Danny's thebomb.com. Danny has also an incredible yoga app that he released recently, which is definitely helping us all get through these times. So anything else worth knowing about? Danny's a total ding dong, like me.
Total ding dong. No, I mean, that covers it. I'm happy to be here. You know, I get the privilege and honor to work with Rocky on a lot of really cool projects. And yeah, now we get to do this live together. We've never done anything live.
I mean, I guess not on like live on Instagram.
We've done in the flesh.
We've been alive together. We've done things together.
Like living? Live. Have we been living?
Oh, we've lived, honey. Oh, we've lived. Oh yeah. Well, I set the theme today as effort and ease. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if this is something that resonates with you. It's certainly, it just seems to be coming up for me a lot right now. I think when all of this kind of first happened, I don't want to speak for you, but I assume you're kind of the same as me, where it's like, what needs to be done? What do we have to do? How do we like adapt and acclimate? And as teachers and as leaders, there's also that call moves through us to like, how do we show up for our community? Sure. And it really, for me, it took several weeks up until yesterday, I think, where I finally was like, oh, I need a break. I need to stop for a second. I need to like turn off my phone and like, I watched TV last night.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Just saying.
Yeah.
And like I played my guitar and I took time to, and I stayed in bed. I took time to just chill, and I realized there's a magnetism to our sense of beingness. The song that I sent you last night, but that song is really all about. I wrote a song recently that speaks to this. This idea that our value and our worth is not wrapped up in how much we achieve and how much we do,
Yeah.
but that we can help to change and affect and upgrade the grid of this planet simply through our beingness. There's a magnetism in that
Yeah.
it requires us to be soft sometimes and to find ease.
Sure.
And in yoga, it's spoken about in sort of the masculine and feminine encoded aspects of self. Masculine being more the yang, and the feminine being more the attractive and the magnetic and the yin. So I'm working to embrace more of that softness. So for me, that looks like ease and rest. But what's up with you?
I mean, it's the same. It's funny that you say that you had your day yesterday, because I actually had mine the day before that, which means that, I did it first.
Sorry. Did I say yesterday?
Yeah.
I meant 2 days ago. I had.
So here's another clear example, you guys, of Rocky trying to do something like, no, but it was Wednesday where I really, I hit the wall, and also certain people around me noticed that I had hit the wall, and everyone was like, okay, red flags, like, let's pause and see what's going on. And, I went to India and came back and ran the blitz like everybody else did, online this and online that, and blah, 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 blah. And then I also had a retreat that was happening and a teacher training. So I had some other big things that I had to shift around. I had 50 something humans that needed either refunds or whatever it was. There was a lot of like navigating through space. And so after that, I really just got here and, arrived and finally started to feel all the things, all the emotion, everything that was happening with it. So it was giving myself time and space to honor that. And, as I was saying this yesterday, I'm glad that I caught this in 10 days and not in 10 months. Because that's what it was before. It was 10 months of just go, 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 go. And then this big gnarly burnout. And for me, it isn't yin per se, but, I've been jamming out on restorative for quite a while now. And it's been like such a saving grace. I literally just sent a text to someone before this being like, someone challenged me on like a blindfolded handstand, and I was like, everyone fucking challenging me on these handstand, like, can you challenge me to lay on a bolster for 3 hours? Like, I'm down with that, and for me, it does look a lot like slowing down, and a lot like, pulling out my journal, and a lot more kriyas. And as I say this, someone that heard our podcast, Adam, who heard our podcast, was like, it's very interesting to hear you guys talk about these practices, and yet there's still the conversation of doing. It's still like we're doing these practices. So, an example was last night I didn't watch TV, but I did lay in bed, and I out loud told myself it is okay not to do anything right now. And so I put on an album that I hadn't heard in a while and just sat and listened. And that for me was very nourishing. And I even wrote it down again. I was like, I don't have to always do something. I can just be and not really do much. So yeah, slowing down, tuning in.
Here. Yeah. And yeah. Enough said. I mean, that it isn't, I think the whole world is slowing down, obviously, and we're being forced to stay still. And I was talking to a friend yesterday who, what I read some statistic that like a third of Americans didn't make their rent in April, and in California there's moratoriums on evictions, and we're sort of catching up with the reality that if everything is to shut down and slow down, we can't be expected to achieve and to produce and to optimize and to meet the expectations that we had set upon ourselves, or that were imprinted upon ourselves in the old paradigm.
Yeah.
And yet, as I think about like the notion of not paying a bill, or deferring something, or pushing pause on something, anything, whether it's paying something or whether it's just the obligations I have, I feel this narrative within me of like, oh well, then that means I'm a failure, or that means I'm like, there's a guilt there, that, so it's so ingrained in me around like not achieving, or not being able to fill in the blank, and I've had to really look at that, like say like, well, is that something that's inherent to who I am, or is that something that I've been sort of fed, that now it's okay to let that go, at least for this time. When I'm not saying don't pay your bills, but I'm saying, how much of that is inherent to who we are as people, and how much of that is just kind of this rat race that we've been on that's being sort of slowed down.
Yeah.
But it doesn't all slow down at once. Like, the first step is like, don't leave your house. But then all these mechanisms are still running behind the scenes that have to also be dismantled. So
well, I mean, and we can only run from ourselves for so long. Like Netflix is only going to get you, so far, and at some point you have you don't have to do anything, right? But at some point we have this opportunity to sit, and that's the hard part. It's just to sit and do nothing and let it like, we don't have to do all the things anymore. We don't have to do all the yoga. You don't have to do all the meditation. You don't have to do just be it. Just let it do you for a little while. We've done enough doing for quite some time. And I was swiftly reminded of that yesterday, where I felt my energy shift. I felt, not being 100% where I'm normally at. And it was just a quick reminder. It's the human side of it is always going to allow us to play into that, right? That's where we are. This is where we're at. We're in this body, so on and so forth. But we also have this opportunity to use the practices, right? And even to use the practices enough to know that we don't have to do them, just to let them actually integrate and settle into our bodies.
We've talked about this a lot, this idea, like, is yoga the thing that you do, or is yoga what happens as a result of what you do? And or is it a sort of returning back to the inherent well-being that you are? There's always a journey that involves some degree of doing. Even in stillness, there's a doing. But how much of that is an endeavor of effort or an endeavor of ease?
Right.
The first line of the song Burning Man that I wrote says, "On my way to lose my mind, never did I think I'd find that I don't have to do anything, just be."
Right.
And that download actually came to me. I'll share with our viewers. I did ayahuasca for the first time last year, and that was a very challenging experience for me, but also quite profound in that I was, all those mechanisms of do and achieve were like being like twisted and knotted and purged and confronted.
Sure.
And what I was sort of left with, it's like we have, some of us, crystals and beads and things that we use that well, I'll go with the crystal analogy, that like this idea that by placing something in our home, it has an energy to it that sort of upgrades the grid around it. And I think sometimes we forget that we're crystals. You're a crystal. I'm a crystal. Like there's an energy to us.
It's Danny, not Crystal. Danny.
I thought it was Crystal Danny.
No, my name is not
Crystal. KD. It's like KD. But that we are these like bioelectromagnetic fields of information that produce and affect change in the environment around us without us having to go and literally move things around.
Right.
The idea of, like, I was listening to Marianne Williamson. Actually, she speaks quite beautifully about this in her book Return to Love, but she's reading chapters from it on her Instagram. And she was talking about, like, if you have a pile of metal shavings and you want to organize them in a certain way, the sort of masculine encoded endeavor, or the more yang, would be to like take the pieces and move them around. But the more feminine, and when I say yin, I don't mean this like a yin practice, but the yin to the yang.
Sure.
The more kind of feminine encoded way is to use a magnet. And if the magnet is already kind of imprinted with the pattern that you want, holding the magnet over it will attract the metal into the configuration.
Yeah, for sure.
So, we have the capacity to do both. We can effort and push and move things around, but we can also become magnetic and influence in the subtler realms, which ultimately manifest on in the physical. So
yeah,
I'm experiencing, I think to a certain degree, because we can't leave our homes and we can't go out and do in the world.
Yeah,
the doing that we are a part of now looks like this, and the influence that we have is kind of through the ionosphere, through the waves, through Wi-Fi, through our digital connection, through our meditation, and through the ways that we can upgrade together, even when we might be apart.
Yeah, it's a very, I mean, this goes without saying, right? But it's just a very interesting time to be alive. Like the concept of it's not just me and you having this conversation or the people that are tuning in, but it's this whole opportunity is for everybody that's out there to shift and change. And something is going to shift and change. We'll just, it depends on what tools that we're putting in to let it shift together into the direction that we can help.
Well, and I'm reading Amanda's comment here that there is a sort of there's a paradox. Like it can take effort to learn how to let go. And
yeah, it's a progression and a regression.
Yeah, and so
sometimes you have to regress to progress.
I like that. You should write that down.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Well, what I put on the questions of reflection. Obviously, here we are reflecting, but I wrote like, what does effort feel like, and what does ease feel like? I find that when it's hard for me to kind of tune myself to a particular frequency, whether it's effort, ease, joy, love, whatever, just contemplating how it feels. For me, ease feels like relief. It feels like efficiency. It feels like calm. It feels like peace. It feels like acceptance. Just saying those words helps to bring me into that state. So that's why I phrased it that way.
Yeah.
And likewise, around effort, not to say that there aren't times to apply effort right now. We do also, I think, have to do what we can, which
right.
takes a sort of rising up together. So
right.
Yeah,
the concept of yes, I firmly do believe, yes, the universe has my back, but I'm not just going to sit and eat bonbons. Well, first, I hate bonbons, but I'm not going to sit and eat, pizza in bed and not do anything for the next, month of lockdown and say, well, the universe has my back. Yes, the universe has my back, but I also have to lean into it. I have to dance with it and give it the right amount, and know that at some point I'm going to have to let go of that and let it do its thing.
I should have never told you that I watched TV last night. I feel very judged.
Yeah. That was actually that now was just a personal attack.
No, I feel it. Yeah.
Good.
You guys, everybody is a witness. Everyone just saw finally what it looks like. I just got attacked through live.
Yeah.
That was a live attack.
You feel digitally live attacked.
I feel digitally attacked. Yeah, I feel attacked in mirror.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Mirrors
Cool.
attack.
Mission accomplished.
Good.
Well, it's been fun, Rocky. I'll see you later.
Yeah, okay, bye. Rise and shine. Would you like to pull a card from
yeah,
from the deck that I sent you?
You're the worst. Yeah, do you want me to pull my deck, or are you gonna pull?
Let's both pull one.
Okay, cool.
We'll see whose is better.
What's that?
We'll see whose is better.
I charged mine for the moon that we had, so.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, sure did.
I buried mine underground for a year, and then I faced it in. Oh God.
No, I sent mine. It was on the moon for the full moon, so yeah, it just got delivered back yesterday.
You sent it to the moon.
Yeah,
and back.
I was super charging it, so it's like just a little bit different.
You know what? You got me there.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
So the way I like to enter it personally is to think of, what do I need to know today? So if you'd like to focus on that, right? Just today, that's it. Just like, what do I need to know today?
My mom says she soaked hers in salt water, so. You just got attacked by my mom, so there you go.
No, I feel attacked. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
The camel.
Ooh.
Let's see what you got going on there. So a couple things to look at. I don't know if you've been pulling these cards for, have you been pulling them on Rise and Shine?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So a couple things to look at is, one, the actual sign that it is. So whether it's earth, air, fire, water, and that's going to give us some detail. The other thing to look at is the creature itself. And then the last thing to look at would be like where it lives in the animal kingdom as well. So fire cards, creatures of the desert and the grasslands. The creatures of the fire element lead us towards change. They represent ego and challenge us to become our best selves. Although these cards appear more frequently when conflict or discomfort is present, the heat that they emit is the elixir of our transformation. Several fire cards indicate the heat is on. And then let's hear just specifically about the camel itself. I've actually never pulled the camel. This is my first time.
I had never seen it before either.
Resourceful, independent, knows oneself. The camel can handle absolutely anything, as it carries a wealth of nourishment within. This wondrous creature is self-reliant and handles challenge with ease, even in the face of excess heat, judgment, or anger. Definitely coming from me. The camel searches inside for the cool elixir of water to calm the situation. The camel represents the ultimate form of bringing opposites into balance, fire and water, and being responsible for one's own reactions. The camel is a wonderful traveler and especially fond of trips to faraway lands. Maybe not right now. When in balance, calm, content, sparkle, and eye. When out of balance, dehydrated or lacks vitality. To bring into balance, a pilgrimage onto your roof.
Yes. From my bedroom into the living room.
Yes, exactly.
Interesting. It hadn't occurred to me to look at the elements, so thanks for that. Mm-hmm. I actually two cards popped out, and one is another fire card. The zebra, and the other is an air card, the vulture. Ooh. And I think because we had a fire card from you, I'm gonna go with the vulture, which actually I pulled last week, I think. But I'd like to read it again because it's quite profound. So in terms of air, it says the creatures of the air element move quickly and decisively. Yep. They're known to, quote, see more than others, and this can lead to powerful and discerning qualities. Air creatures love movement and mobility, but the speed at which they move often leaves them ungrounded.
I think we're done here.
Yeah. I feel too seen. Several air cards indicate too much movement and not enough earth. Some people describe this as living in the head rather than in the body. It's difficult to make big decisions or remember our greater purpose when we lose our groundedness. So do whatever you must do to reconnect to the physical realm. Slow walks in nature will help you get your feet back on the ground. So the vulture is the guardian and the purifier, and is essential for rebalance. It says the vulture is perhaps the most misunderstood creature of all. This intriguing bird balances our ecosystem and prevents the spread of disease. It does the dirty work that no one else wants to do and cleans up our messes. The vulture appears when there's a situation that needs to be purified or brought back into balance. Remember, the vulture is greatly undervalued. What you thought was a mistake or a tragedy is a blessing in disguise. When in balance, when the vulture clarifies and reveals wisdom. When out of balance, it's dramatic and aggressive. Never heard of it. To bring into balance, clean your space, and, I mean to tell you about this, sage. Boom. You got the sage I sent you this morning.
Ready.
She's ready.
She's ready.
She's ready. All right. Well, lots of food for thought there, but yeah, I think I've been doing little. I live sort of in the middle of like concrete jungle, LA, and I keep forgetting the benefit of getting outside and taking a walk, even if not in nature. So I've been walking around my neighborhood a little bit more and trying to ground myself in those ways. But I do see, as the vulture suggests, that these things that the disease that we're experiencing, the separation that we're experiencing, is creating a pressure that I think is giving birth to new things that are quite meaningful.
Sure.
Shout out to vultures. All right. Danny's going to lead us through some pranayama / movement kriya, and depending on time, perhaps we'll finish with some restorative chill time at the end of all this. So.
So what I'll do is I'm going to guide you guys through. It's pretty much my daily kriya that I do, and we'll do a little bit of a condensed version of it. It's it's a great way, this Kriya in specific is a great way to channel and harness your energy, the energy that moves up and down the spine. So what you're thinking is your chakra from base all the way up through the crown of the head to the center of the brain. We're moving the energy up to stimulate and to radiate outwards. And as we do that, we're not only connecting, right? We're tapping into the field, but we're also preserving that energy within. With circumstances right now specifically, there is a lot of this frenetic running around and trying to do the most. And this is a great way not only to get grounded, but also to replenish, right? To get yourself to stabilize is a great way to describe it. So as we do it, there's a few things that I'm going to show you guys. The first is we'll be taking chin mudra with the hands. So it's index finger and thumb together. And that'll rest right above your knees, palms facing up, right? And the second mudra, your arms are just going to be straight out to the sides and your palms are going to be facing up. This one will fire up the arms and the shoulders for a little bit. And I just need you guys to stay really strong, keep energizing the fingertips up and out. And then we'll get a little break at the end of that as we bring the hands together at the heart center in Anjali Mudra, and you'll press the palms together. While we move through this, we'll do breath of fire, not Kapalabhati per se, but Kundalini breath of fire. It's a little more passive, and what you're going to think about is like a dog panting. So I'm going to do it with my mouth open, and then we'll end up doing it with our mouths closed. So it'll be something like this. The inhale is actually really, really, really soft. It does it on its own. You don't have to go snapping back and forth. So as we start to do that, we'll do about, for this, we're done at 10, right, Rocky?
Ish.
Okay, cool. So we'll do about 2 minutes.
Will cut us off. It'll cut us off at 10. So if we keep going, we'll just have to open another line.
Got it. We'll do about 2 minutes, 2 minutes, and 2 minutes. And if you're on your cycle, you don't have to breathe or lift the groins in and up when I call for that. You can just imagine yourself doing that. And same, if you're doing this at home and this breath is new for you, it might be uncomfortable, you can just stop the breath and breathe normally and just imagine yourself doing the breath, okay? So we'll tune in with just one sound of Om. So you're gonna bring your hands at your heart center and then see if you can feel the root of your spine press down. In that sense, there's this elongating of the spine lifting up. And even here, just giving yourself an opportunity to close the eyes, to feel the body in space, to give yourself this opportunity to go inside into your own internal home. And as the vulture suggested, maybe as we go inside, right, we start to illuminate the different rooms in our internal home. Just explore what might need some tending to today. Just today, yogis, just today. So resetting the breath, inhale into the belly. And exhale. Inhale into the chest. And exhale. So we'll inhale for Om. Inhale. Om. Release the hands down to the knees. So index fingers and thumbs are going to touch. Spine stays really tall. The last 3 fingers will stretch out. And then we'll begin breath of fire. So, again, really tall spine. Length through the collarbones. Keep breathing. No need to go too fast, right? If you need to slow down, if you need to pause, all good. If you're new to the breath, you can always take a pause. Keep going, halfway there. And stretch the arms out. Spread the fingers. Tall spine, yogis. Keep going. Think of the heart lifting, the crown of the head lifting, the energize through the fingertips, stretch out, keep breathing. Stay with it, yogis. Tune in. Halfway there. Keep going. The integrity of the breath, the intention of the pose. Last 30 seconds. Hands to heart center, tall spine, keep going with the breath. Tall spine. Palms are pressing. Keep going, yogis, keep going. Almost there, 45 seconds. Finish strong for the last 15. Keep going, yogis. Tall spine, thumbs into the sternum. Feel the heart lift. Keep breathing, keep breathing. Go for it. Last 10. And inhale. Hold the breath. Pause. Squeeze Mula Bandha. Feel the energy from the base of the spine. Move it up to the center of the brain. Chin in. And exhale. One more time. Full breath. Inhale. Lift. Hold the breath. Good. Squeeze Mula Bandha. So again, the energy from the pelvic floor is lifting all the way in. Chin up. Jalandhara Bandha. Find Maha Bandha, the master lock. Lift up. All the energy rooting to the center of the brain. And then exhale, release. So now what I want you to think about here is anything that you feel like you might be missing, or maybe even just in search of that you forgot, whether it's some kindness, some compassion, some connection, whatever it is you might need strength. And if you feel like you're really full, right, like you've got all that, then maybe you think about a person that you can share some of this light with, some of this illumination. And we're really just going to start to charge up that field around us. So when you're ready, rub your hands vigorously. Go for it. Rub, 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 rub. and create some heat in your hands, right? And again, you're calling in whatever this intention is, whatever you might need for the day, for the weekend. A little bit faster, a little bit warmer. And then stretch your arms up. You're going to spread your fingers, reach the arms up and over your head. And yogis, how can we not get behind this, right? You're literally tuning in your magnetic field here. So call it in. Feel it charge up. Slowly the arms go outward, down, very slow, very slow. Clear the energy, tune in. Hands go down on the knees. For a moment, we hit pause. It's this beautiful opportunity, right, to observe. To sit back and not only watch, but to be a part of the collective. Tune into that intelligence that lives within you. Emotional intelligence, the physical intelligence, the intelligence of the field, consciousness. Bring your awareness to the base of your spine. It's a bit easier since we're sitting. Just explore what it feels like. Find the energy center down there. And as you connect to it, envision it illuminating outwards, radiating. Keep the attention there and start to move the awareness now into the sacrum, the space in between your pelvic bowl. Feel the energy from your root rise up to the sacrum. Right? Illuminate that, let it connect. Feel that begin to expand outwards. Connecting not only to your intelligence, but to the greater intelligence as well. Move the energy, connect from the base of the spine to the sacrum, to the navel center. What does it feel like? What is the experience there now? As you feel the energy again, let it radiate out, let it connect you. Continuing, feel the energy lift from the sacrum, rather from the base of the spine to the sacrum, to the navel, and move it up to the solar plexus. As you continue to feel the energy move up the spine, the heart specifically, tune into the frequency of love. And back into that internal landscape or internal home, can you turn that light on of love all throughout? Let it illuminate your entire internal body. And in fact, let it consume you entirely and then radiate out. Connect again from the base of the spine. Feel the energy move up to the sacrum, to the navel center, to the solar plexus. Continue to rise up to the throat. Focus on the energy there. Tune into the frequency. Feel the throat be free. Can you let the channel from being grounded and love rise up. Connect to that and let it spread again outwards, illuminate. And the energy from the base of the spine to the sacrum, navel center, to the heart, the throat, and start to move it up to the center of the brain. As we awaken all these energetic points in our body, right? We connect them together so that we can again tune in. Feel the energy lift not only up to the center of the brain, but radiate outwards and connect. Tune into the field, yogis. Tune in. With all these energy centers, let them surround, hold you, and build you up. Take a moment to be witness to this miracle, watching yourself, of tuning in to, again, that intelligence that lives within each and every single one of us, calling out your mastery. See if you can imprint that. Let it change you on a cellular level. As you're ready, take a deep breath into the belly. And exhale. Full breath into the chest. And exhale. Bring your left hand onto your heart. You can tap your right hand down on the ground. When you feel supported from the earth below us, the place where we all started, the place where we'll eventually return. Feel that connection to your heart, that tuning in of love that lives within each and every single one of us. And not only believing, but knowing these two things are real, and that we can call upon both their supports whenever we need. Slowly releasing the left hand down. Give yourself a moment. You are ready. Start to blink the eyes. Take your eyeballs down for just a breath or so. And without having to shift or change or even manipulate, just be for a bit. Sit. Let the yoga do you right now. Blink your eyeballs front and center. Bring your awareness and presence to the center of the room. Good morning, everybody. Shall we move a little bit? All right, y'all. So some pretty simple movements today. I'm going to move my camera, but a couple of Surya Namaskars. And really just coming back into that foundation of illuminating upwards. And when we come on down, we'll move into full prostration, which will be laying down on the ground with the forehead down. And that brings us back down to the groundedness. So we get to connect into that energy, that force of love radiating up and out, connecting us into the greater consciousness. And then as we come on down, it's that reminder that we are held and we are supported the entire time. So think less in your practice today. Oh, I've got to reach my arms up and I've got to forward bend and I've got to tighten up my core and I've got to use my external rotators and all that fun stuff. That's going to happen no matter what, right? That's in us, that lives within us. So let's just tune into the sake of being in the experience, yeah? I'll guide us through a couple, and then at some point I'm going to ask you to do one on your own, and then I might even ask you to close your eyes. And what I want you to do, yogis, is just have the experience. Is to not have to force it, not have to make it happen. Just let it be what it is, all right? So once y'all are ready, let's come on to our mats, and I'm going to move myself so y'all can see me here. And then you'll only be able to see a part of me for a second, but you'll see me when I come on down to the ground. And so you're going to start standing, and as you start standing, turn your feet to face forward. Press your feet down into the ground so you can feel the earth below. Stand up really tall. Do any of the fun, funky things you like to do. Really, placement of the feet is yogi's choice, right? My personal preference is always stacking my body like columns, so if you want to bring your heels under your hips, go for it. Turn the palms to face forward and take care of yourselves. See if you can find the nourishment of the breath, right? Enjoy every single moment, no need to rush it. Inhale, press down and stretch up. Root to rise, Urdhva Namaskar. Exhale, fold it down to your toes, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift your chest up, lengthen. Exhale, hands down, step to plank and pause. Full breath in, shift slightly forward. Feel free to watch the first one if you need to. As you exhale, yogis, we'll come all the way down to the earth. Forehead's going to rest down on the ground. The arms stretch forward. Full prostration. We'll be here for 5 breaths. In this moment, we are all the same. In this moment, there is no student, teacher, higher, lower. It's just all of us having the same experience of being human, being here in this moment. Tune in. And the hands come underneath the shoulders. Inhale, tuck the toes, lift the hips. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. If it's your first down dog today, just for giggles, go ahead and wiggle around a little bit, whatever feels organic. And in fact, everyone close your eyes and just move for the sake of your movement today. Right? Move into the internal intelligence, yeah? There's so much information out there today, yogis. There's so much noise out there today, right? Tap into your own inner wisdom. It's there. Awaken it. Finding stillness, inhale, look forward. Exhale, make your way to the top of the mat. Everyone's got their own way of getting there. Inhale, lengthen your heart, look up. Exhale, fold to the toes. Inhale, rise, Urdhva Namaskar. Stretch into your arms, lift up. Tadasana, hands down to the sides of the body. Inhale, stretch up, maybe a little back bend if it's calling today. Exhale, fold, come down to the toes. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, plant the palms, plank. Shift forward, inhale. To the belly, exhale. Prostration, forehead down, reach the arms up and out, close the eyes, breathe. 5 breaths. Last one, yogis, pancha. Hands underneath the shoulders. Inhale, tuck the toes, lift the knees. Exhale, press up and back, downward facing dog. We close the eyes for the last few rounds here. As you close the eyes, again, you're moving from that space of
your own wisdom inside. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, walk, step, or jump. Eyes stay closed. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, stretch up. Again, trust. Exhale, hands to the sides, Tadasana. Inhale, stretch the arms up, maybe a back bend. Exhale, fold, take it down to your toes. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, plant the palms, step back, plank. Eyes are still soft, closed. Inhale, come forward. Exhale to the belly. And prostration. 5 breaths. Pancha yogis, hands come underneath the shoulders. Inhale, tuck your toes, lift your knees. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Full breath in down dog. Hold, exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, make your way to the top. Last round on your own. Try it with the eyes closed. Go for it. Don't think about memorizing any movements. Don't get caught up on how many breaths you have to do or didn't do. And tune in. Find that trust. Your own inner guru that lives within. We're awakening that, right? Tune in. Trust in the practice, yogis. Trust in your process. Eventually, we'll be back in downward facing dog. From down dog, yogis, gently and slowly make your way to a seat. Fold the palms apart for just a moment. Chin into the chest. It's here again. We bow to our own internal wisdom, right? The wisdom of love, that channel that we create, that we connect. Yogis, as best as you can repeat after me. Om Bolo.
Om Bolo.
Sri Satguru.
Sri Satguru.
Bhagavan Kai.
Bhagavan Kai.
Jai.
Jai.
Take your hands and give the ground a nice good smack. So what we just chanted was the awakening of our own inner guru, right? It's the trust of our own inner teacher, the realest teacher, the truest teacher is the one that lives within us. And that jai at the end, that like excitement of this, yeah, we got that, we got this. Thank you guys for letting me practice with you this morning, and thanks for letting me share some of the tools that have truly transformed my entire life. And yeah, it's it's kind of crazy and cool. I've been blessed to have studied from Rocky for many years, and I've watched his journey, and he's influenced my journey in movement, and it's been really cool to learn so much about my body, and I believe that learning how to use this vessel and keeping it, like I'm not this body, but I have a body. So I got to take care of it. But also this other energetic body that lives within us, right? It's tapping into these different sources, these different parts of the body that we can't necessarily see that live, and that we have this beautiful opportunity to illuminate. So I hope that some of these worked for you. And if they don't, well, that's all I got.
A couple sun salutations.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
That was for me.
Leave a review on iTunes.
Like, comment, and subscribe. Ring the bell.
Yeah.
No, thank you very much. We've all, I shouldn't say all of us, but I've done many sun salutations in my life, but there's no sun salutation quite like a Danni Pomplun facilitated sun salutation, to remind me that it's not so much the movements, but it's the heart that you bring to them. It's the intention that you hold, and it's the awareness that you're able to cultivate. So thank you for that reminder, and thank you for sharing your gifts, not just with those of us right now, but with the world always. Do you want to let anybody know where they can find more of your stuff, or what it is that you're up to these days?
Yeah, so I mean, I have a lot going on. I do this really cool, Rocky, you should tune in. I have a podcast, and once a month I do this episode called Dharma Dudes. It's really fun.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds kind of sacrilegious, right? Like, way to disrespect the tradition of yoga.
I mean, what is yoga? Mind blown. I'll leave you with that. No, you can catch me. All my stuff is on my website, dannipomplun.com. I'm pretty active on Instagram, and I actually love connecting with people there, like having conversations. But you can catch Rocky and I on the Dharma Dudes podcast once a month. We're probably going to do some extra episodes, given all the things that are going on, and we have a lot of shenanigans. We're bored. So there's that. I have my app right now that's on my website, and just so y'all that are going to tune into the app, all the relax classes and all the meditations are all free. They're going to be unlocked for the time being because I feel like everyone really needs it. And I'm working on a 7-day. I actually just finished some of the filming on a 7-day meditation series on there. That's going to be, it's a gift for the things that are going on right now. And yeah, that's it. I'm hanging out virtually, teaching Zoom classes. I'm doing everything. Come catch me on my website or come catch me on Instagram.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Catch you if you can.
Catch me if you can. Catch me outside. How about that? Oh,
how about that?
Can't catch me outside. How about that?
Danni, I love you. Thank you so much for sharing your heart and sharing yourself with us.
Thank you.
Yeah, we had a Dharma Dudes episode came out just 2 days ago, so check that out. More of that coming soon. And we'll leave it at that. I wish you guys a really beautiful weekend. I'm going to be teaching a class on the Yoga International Facebook live stream at 4 p.m. this Sunday. It'll be a back bend practice. We're calling it Rise Up. I guess Rise is sort of the new branding of what I'm about. So we'll rise and shine during the weekdays, and we'll rise up on the weekends. And yeah, feel free to reach out if we can be of service or guide you in any directions during these times. And yeah, stay vibrant, stay happy, stay real, effort and ease.
Peace out, you guys.
Bye.
Bye.